This is Clix on the Barbie. Join us as we talk about Clix in Australia, current HeroClix happenings, and a dash of meta. Welcome to Clix on the Barbie, episode 33. I'm Ben Jones, and with me I have a returning Anthony Callahan. Hi, Anthony.
Hi.
We thank Anthony for joining us again on Clix on the Barbie, and I will just say, make sure if you have time, check out his Toy Tornado YouTube channel where he talks about classic toys and toys of his childhood and the toys that he loves. Is that correct, Anthony?
That is correct. We also have a Instagram account, which is toy_toynado. And I recently put up some things that I got the other day, which we'll talk about when we're talking about the good things of the week.
Oh, excellent. I look forward to it. And so in this episode, we're going to talk about a little bit of our week in the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll talk about some HeroClix we've been playing over the time that we've been away. We will talk a little bit about X of Swords. I know Avengers Forever is the new hotness at the moment, but I just only recently got my X of Swords, so I'd like to talk about that. And we will also have some questions from Malcolm Rush regarding sets. As we get started, so let's turn on the gas, light the Barbie, and let's talk some Clix. Okay, Anthony, as we start, tell us about your week. What's been good, the bad, and the ugly of your week or time that we had away?
Look, it's been an interesting week. I would have to say the good is, I suppose it starts last week where I bought myself a lot of classic Master of the Universe and She-Ra figures because action figures are one of my passions.
Yes.
And I bought this large lot which included She-Ra's castle, which looks super cool.
Oh, wow.
But it also came with Hordak, which was one of the first run Hordaks with little the red highlights on his armor. King Randor, who had his crown and his cape and his chest armor. I got the Sorceress, and she's got her staff, which is amazing. I got a She-Ra that actually has some of her weapons, which is pretty cool because they are getting harder and harder to come by. And just a bunch of other She-Ra and He-Man figures. And it was so much fun. I came home on Tuesday afternoon, and the box was sitting on the doorstep. And I knew I had other things that I had to do, but this most certainly did take precedence. So I came through the door, I put the box down, got myself something nice to drink, and then just started opening up toys.
That makes total sense. Better than doing probably anything else you had to do. I totally get that. But who wants to do adult stuff? Let's play.
That's right.
For myself, my good is that things been going pretty cruisy. It's it's a busy time of the year, but I was very happy to get HeroClix over the last probably 3 weeks. My X of Swords finally came in, and then I also came in a second lot. I got the X of Swords Play at Home kit, the Disney Plus Play at Home kit. I got a Fantastic Four Storyline OP kit as well. And that was just great to have those things. I probably mostly for me it's about the maps. I really enjoy having lots of maps to choose from to play on. I was interested in the OP Pyro as one of, I think his trait was Shrimp on the Barbie. I was like, cool, excellent. That made me laugh. And also just in the last week, my Avengers Forever came through, so that was great to get a case of that. And I also picked up a X-Men Gala set as well. Wasn't originally going to get it, but I also got one from my friend for his birthday, so I thought I might as well have one myself. And they are pretty nice figures. And yeah, just nice.
You've had a really good HeroClix couple of weeks.
It has been. It's I've really enjoyed the opportunities just to sort of take my time to open things because there wasn't any great rush, but also just enjoy new HeroClix stuff. Seeing as I hadn't had any, I guess, since Nats, so it was a good couple of months since we've had new HeroClix. So that's been my good opening HeroClix. Anything bad in your life, Anthony?
Look, nothing terrible.
Yeah.
It is coming towards Christmas, so I suppose bad would be starting Christmas shopping, which is always a nightmare,
Yes.
especially shopping centers with people. I try to stay away from people as much as I can.
Yes, me too. So okay,
But
yep,
uh,
yeah,
but it's life's not been too bad. What about yourself?
yeah. I think I'm pretty much the same. My family was sick for a week and a half, but other than that, we've all been pretty good. And yeah, I guess the bad is yeah, as we head towards this end of the year, it gets a bit busy. It's hard to connect and catch up, and I guess that's why we haven't been able to get everyone to get the gang back together for a HeroClix podcast because it's just been hard to find times when we can all get together.
It is the busy point of the year.
It is. It is the busy point. Finally, Anthony, what about your ugly? Do you have an ugly? Something that's not great.
Well, look, I had a job interview today, and I'd say that was fairly ugly.
Before it sounded
you
like it
know,
went
I hate
okay.
Well, yeah, it went okay, but I hate the whole process and I hate selling myself because I don't like talking about myself. I can talk about my team because they are amazing, but I prefer it more about the team than about me.
Yep, that makes
So,
sense. So it makes it hard. Yep. Hence why I'm still in the same job for 11 years because I not a big fan of the interview process myself. Though I know next time I go, I'll be asking questions back as well. So I guess that's something I thought about in my head. But good luck. I hope that you get the job, and if you
well,
don't, that you still enjoy where you continue to work. So,
absolutely.
for me, I guess my ugly is I'm heading into my busy time. Next couple, sort of like just working not around the clock, but every day because I've got reports and things to write for school, and it just takes time. It's more so I've just got to give the time to it, but my weekend sort of is spent thinking and writing reports. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember going through that process. It's not fun,
yeah,
and it is quite taxing at times.
it can be, but I am try to make sure it takes some time. This Sunday we have Hero Clicks at our shop. So we've got just another 300-point modern. Let's go for it. Just have a bit of fun, and we generally play pretty fun events. Well, not it's not even fun events. We just a pretty casual play, and so looking forward to that. And I can talk about my team, I guess, in a moment because I'm really pretty excited about it. There we go. Good, the bad, and ugly. Thank you, Anthony,
Not a problem.
for sharing there. Okay, we're on to our clicks we have been playing. So, have you had a chance to play Hero Clicks in the last couple weeks, Anthony?
Yes, I did. I haven't yet got to play much in person, but I did play some online, and in fact, my last game was against you, Ben,
Yes, it was.
and
Oh,
I
it
believe it
was.
was a cracker.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on which side of the fence you sit on for that one, but it was a cracker, I must say. Um, my thought going into the game was I really wanted to play Hydra Stomper, and I really wanted to see what I could do with that. And yeah, so on my team, I had Hydra Stomper, and I had Omega Red. So I was going for I think it was a soldier keyword team.
Hmm.
Had Omega Red as well from Rise and Fall. I had Power Broker, so I could inject everyone and get them going. Had Baron Zemo from War of the Realms. He's got TK, and so I thought that's pretty good. I feel like I had someone else, but it sort of all didn't quite work as planned because Anthony, what did you bring?
Yeah, okay. So mine was probably a little bit top heavy. I brought Venom Magneto. Uh, I brought the Prime Ultron Pym. I brought the X of Swords Whiz Kid and teamed him up with X of Swords Nimrod the Lesser, and then had Uatu for just good measure.
For just good measure, and yeah, it was very, very, very devastating. But go for it, you'd say.
And look, it played a lot different to what I was expecting because obviously there's three different characters there for mission points, and I was thinking, ooh, I might be able to get some mission points up with this. I might be able to give Ben a run for his money on a mission points team,
Yep.
and it did not turn out that way.
No, it just turned into more of a destroying team. I think what it was in some ways is that Yeah, map was probably a bad choice. I went with, I can't remember which map it was, but it was a pretty open map. My team was more TK, run in and punch, 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 but I just couldn't get there, and you were able to shoot me down before I got close to you, I reckon, if I remember correctly.
I do like having that the range combat attacks. It does make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, so you just shot me down, which was fine, and that's then yeah, going back, I go maybe another map next time, which is a bit more closed in, and I could run around corners rather than just say, "Hey, I'm here to shoot me." But I also thought I guess my initial thought when I was building was going, "Okay, I'm happy to sit here and have a pot shot at me. You're going to hit me, fine. I'm going to still come in." But it just didn't work that way.
No, I think the problem was I did take out your Hydra Stomper first,
Yeah,
fairly early on,
and then
and
I forgot to pop Skinny Steve. No.
that is true, and that probably could have changed things as well.
I don't think it just would have meant that Ultron had to have one more turn to kill someone. But yeah, I've been really enjoying our games that we have, and on a Sunday morning, yeah, we get
Yeah.
journey on a Sunday. And it's just really nice to be able to just casually play, and I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, keep it up, Anthony. As we keep going, I'll look forward to more games.
Oh, I will. I've got another team set up ready to go for the next time we play.
Nice, nice. So I guess as you said, you don't get as much in-person play. I've been fortunate enough over, I guess, last week to have a little bit more. Uh, I got my Avengers Forever case last week, so I sort of unboxed it all and had a look what I had, then put it all back in the boosters, and uh, had Alan came over Friday night, and another one of my friends, Kingsley, came over Friday night, and we sort of did some sealed games on out of that. So Alan had a case as well. He was pretty fortunate and he had a double chase case.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
you got Ghost Panther, which actually looks really nice. I was really surprised. It actually looks really, really good. And he also got Ms. Kane, so that he was pretty happy with that.
Ooh, yeah.
She actually looks very useful. And in my case, I got the Swordsman Prime, and I got Arachnite Chase. So I was really happy with those things. Anyway, we put the boosters, in randomly selected to out. I from mine, I got my Thunderclap Hulk, the super rare Hulk.
Ooh,
He came out
very nice.
in my boosters, and I don't know, and then it didn't really matter who else played with him. But Alan actually, he went out of his, he pulled. So he had one brick. Oh, sorry, had one booster that had the Black Panther, so the Ghost Panther Chase, and it also had the Ant-Man Prime in it.
Oh,
And
that's a good booster.
it was a great booster, and that's the one he put. Like, so he actually said to Kingsley, "Pull out boosters for me." Which one? And that's one that Kingsley pulled out for him. So it was really good to see. I guess see those things play. I really liked that Ant Man as well. That Prime Ant Man looked like really good fun to play. So we hacked around with that. He managed to take out sort of all my other little people, but the Hulk was just a hard. In that sealed environment, he is really hard to deal with. Just a high defense, and then if they hit, you get the clap back at them, and yeah. What I did find, he had a high defense, and I was perplexing it up to like 20. So when I did get hit, then I had to roll like a 10 to match theirs, and so I couldn't do that. So I always was taking damage for a bit. But he's a really. I was pretty impressed. I'm usually not a good Hulk player. Some reason he dies really quickly for me, but this one was
Yep.
very valuable.
So Hulk smash.
Yeah, Hulk. Yeah, Hulk did smash in the end, but I did enjoy. I think the Ghost Panther is a bit squishy, and from what we saw, sort of took a hit, and then that was sort of it. I did go after him because that was a character that had Outwit, and I had to make sure I got rid of Outwit that sort of protected the Hulk.
Yep.
But I enjoyed the Ant-Man with his robot ants, and there being able to pulse wave from them, and that was really cool fun to sort of see those sort of things happen in the game. I also played another game on Friday night with my friend Kingsley, and so we just took boosters out of mine. I pulled a double rare boosters, so I had Nova and oh man, I can't even remember because it was that bad.
Oh, we've all played those
Yeah,
games.
yeah. In a sealed when you get a double rare, you're going, oh man, this is going to be an uphill battle. Uh, and yeah, my friend Kingsley, he pulled Sentry, and
Oh,
yeah, and also Swordsman Prime. So he
two very
was,
nice pieces.
yeah, and I just didn't have much luck with that. He wiped me out. My the Sentry just sort of came through and just took out a whole heap of people. Just he was very very good. It was still good fun. Like it's interesting to see how pieces play, and I grew to really like that Prime Swordsman. He just looks like good fun, and from what I've been able to play with him, looking forward to playing with Koi or Koya, whatever the name of that figure is from Empire, where
Yep.
it can, because it sort of completes that, giving boost to your bystand tokens. He
Yes, he looks like he would be fun with a white sword, which so we may have conversations later.
Yes, the white sword, and because I know the white sword was one of your favorite pieces out of Exoswords, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
Yes. And so that was two games that I had last week, and then just tonight. So I usually have a regular Thursday night game. So tonight being Thursday night, I had my game against my friend. We were sort of testing out teams for Sunday at our when we were playing at our shop. He played. He's got a Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk, which he's really enjoying trying to get working.
Oh,
And so he played that. He had a monsters theme team, I think. Yes, must have been monsters. He had Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk at 200 points. He had Ferdinand from the Wonder Woman, that's the Minotaur from the Wonder Woman set that can heal.
I
And
know the one you mean.
yeah,
Yep.
so and I guess the idea is that Hulk sort of hypersonic speeds out, comes back. If he does take damage, he gets healed. That's the sort of philosophy. He
Yep.
had two mindless ones from the new Avengers Forever set, just to sort of fill out numbers, and he
Hmm.
also had Venom Cyclops. He likes Venom Cyclops for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he just does.
Okay.
And so that was his team. My team, and something that's made me very happy with the Avengers Forever coming back, is that there are more Hydra pieces in modern. I have been a big fan of Hydra. I don't know why. Maybe I just like bad guys. I don't know. But I just like that team aspect of one dies and the other one comes back up. So I was playing Hydra, and I built a team with Red Skull. And so looking at using those new equipping rules where you can just equip at the start. So I equipped him with the cloak, because that then gave him sidestep, flight, plasticity. He could then carry his own mastermind fodder around with him. So if he did take a hit,
Mm-hmm.
he could just mastermind it off straight away. I played Gorgon because he is Hydra. He's the common from
He is.
Exoswords.
Yeah.
And so another Hydra piece, and that's sort of your run in. So I guess looking at it, Red Skull is the shooter, then he's the run in person. And then from
Did you
there,
put a sword on him?
yes, I did put a sword on him. I guess only working from what I had, but I think it was um, Mercy. I think it's the one that allows you, if you get attacked, to be re-rolled. So
Ah,
when I got
yes.
attacked, I was able to say, and he hit me, I was able to say, "We'll re-roll." I mean, so I had a crazy one with Ferdinand. So Ferdinand attacked. He had Blade's claws. He was a 10 attack, and I was a 20 defense. And so he rolled and hit with an 11.
Ooh.
And I'm like, ooh, cool. Reroll. I'll use my sword reroll. And so he rolled again and rolled a 11. I'm like, man, you kidding? Like, because I'm thinking, okay. So I said, theme team prob, because I had two. I said theme team prob. I had three at that
Yep.
stage. Theme team prob, and he rolled a 10, which is what he needed. I was like, man, okay. Second theme team prob, and I think that was my last one. Second theme team prob roll, and he rolled a crit hit. And I was like, okay, it's just had to take it. Like, there was nothing more I could do. And it's like, okay, if you're going to roll 11, 11, 10, 12, Okay.
I'd be checking those dice.
Yeah, so I've seen him use those dice. I've seen him do one like later on the match. It did so. So his last attack in the match was he was attacking Gorgon. So Gorgon managed to survive. But he attacked Gorgon, flurried with Hulk Spirit of Vengeance, or Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk. First attack, crit miss. And then then obviously resolution, like going through resolution, crit miss, take the click, and he died. So there you go. So it all works out in the end. But I guess so. I had Red Skull, I had Gorgon. To go with that, I had 4 multiple men, 2 at 40 and 2 at 10. Because I got Hydra keyword, and they got like,
Yeah, they do.
yep, and they can, so with the Underworld team ability, they can carry, and so it just made my team mobile. I
Yeah.
also had a Hydra agent and then a Hydra officer from the new Avengers Forever set as well, and then I had multiple men on the bench, and I had some Hydra agents on the bench, so I could roll. So like first turn, Red Skull rolls a 5. I think he rolled a 5 for leadership. Cool. I could just start generating people. I love generating people.
He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and yeah, so it came in, took some out, but it was gradually, it was a numbers game. Whittled down the guys on the side, then got into the middle. Now, because we're playing a home game, I think that we went for like an hour and a half, because we've got the time to sort of go through. So I'll be interested to see how it goes on Sunday in a time limit game, where I'm sort of looking to try to take things out. But they could take out like a couple Hydra agents, and there's 30 points, and that could be enough for them.
Yeah.
So it's always a bit different in that, I guess, in that timed environment. The casual game where you can go forever is sort of like, I have time to set my swarms up to swarm on top of you. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Happy to see Hydra back, and whether it's good or not, I'm not sure. I did enjoy Red Skull with the cloak on. Just gave him the maneuverability he needed. He's got poison, so in the end I just sort of walked up and sat next to, because he's got combat reflexes as well. It's got combat reflexes, mastermind, and toughness. And so I could carry a Hydra agent with me. I went and stood straight next to, I just moved next to Venom, Cyclops, and a mindless one, and then just poisoned them to death. So
Simple but effective.
Yeah, and so they're going, oh, I've got a 10 attack. I said, well, I've got 18 plus combat reflexes, so it was the 20. It just worked out well. We'll see how it goes. It can be shot down, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So that's been my Clix play over the last week.
You've gotten a lot in. That's really good.
Yeah, it's certainly something I'd try to make time for if I can. I'd like to play more often if I can, but at least, as I was talking to my friend Dwayne, we play at least once a week, and that's what I need to play once a week. Hopefully, Sunday I'm going to go and play 3 games, hopefully on Sunday at the shop. So that should be good fun as well. And I look forward to catching up with you at some stage. I don't know if we'll play again on Sunday, but we'll work that one out after the show. We need to continue that, so we just keep our Clix life alive, I guess. Excellent. So that's Clix we've been playing, and we'll continue on with that. As I said earlier on, I got Avengers Forever, but I was thinking I might just put that one off to the side, because I know that you haven't got your Avengers Forever yet, Anthony.
No, not yet. I suppose part of that was I had a choice between buying my HeroClix or buying that large lot of Masters of the Universe. And this time, the toys won out rather than the game pieces.
Yep, and that makes sense. You can enjoy both of them, but like the HeroClix thing, going, cool, I've got all these cool figures, but I've not actually got anyone to play with at the moment against. But at least you can go, cool, I've got all these cool action figures and I can play with them.
Absolutely. You set them up in the lounge room and play across the floor, just like I was a kid.
I love that you do that. That's just so cool. So let's go back to X of Swords. I've just only recently got my case in the last 3 weeks. Took a little bit of time to get here, but I was pretty happy with the case I got. I okay. Let's say was I pretty happy? I'm not sure. In my case, I didn't get a prime, and so that was a little disappointing. You sort of. I guess I've always banked on a chase and a prime, and I know that's not the case. Um,
Yeah.
but that's sort of what you sort of like to see. But I did with my case, and I also got one for Alan at the same time. We actually got a dupe case, so we both got exactly the same things. I got, I managed to in my super rares. I got Deadpool, Agent Brand,
That's a good one.
yeah, Arcade as well for something. He's okay.
Oh, very nice.
I got Red Root the Forest, and man, I've really enjoyed playing Red Root the Forest.
Look, I
And
had fun playing against that one when you played that a couple
yeah,
of weeks back. That is a very cool figure.
I was really surprised at the maneuverability of it, seeing it's got a speed of 4, but it was just, it just turned out, yeah. I look forward to playing it more and looking at how I can get it working even better, maybe. And now I can't think of who the other two were. All my super rares are fine. I was pretty happy with my chase. Though. I got the Annihilation chase,
That
which
is a very nice chase.
yeah, which just looks just again good fun to play and pretty tough piece. I like that. I like bystander creation. Being able to just create those Damon bystanders is just will be great fun. I went and made them up straight away, so I've got those 3 bystanders, so I can make them up, so I can do it. For my legacy cards, I did. I don't know, this one I was pretty fortunate with. I got Leech for one of my legacy
Very good.
cards, and I also got Apocalypse for one of my legacy cards.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, so I know Apocalypse has just been watch listed and has been errated. I think it's just these bystanders cost points now when they die. So 5 points for each bystander when they die, but he's still going to be good fun to play. And I'm thinking him and Annihilation sounds like a good start to a team. I'm sure that.
Yeah, and you could have some of the other. I think they're the rares where if you have Annihilation and or Apocalypse on their team, I think Death is one of them. They get bonus to their attacks
Okay.
or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't. I sat there looking at my Extra Swords, going, I'm just not sure. Didn't actually know if or tennis. What is it? Tennis swords. I don't know. I didn't really know if I was super keen on them, and then so Avengers Forever's come in and sort of has taken over. Oh, cool! I really like. I guess I don't know. Oh, don't get me wrong. I like X-Men, but for some reason the Avengers have Hydra. I did look at the robots, the Danger Room constructs, and seeing if I can
Oh,
build
they're
something out of
so
that.
much fun.
Yeah, and I thought that'd be great fun. It's just that's a nice. It's a pretty simple team to put together of robots, and I think if you can put them all together, you can chuck on there an Omega Sentinel. I think it was, and there was something
Hmm.
else. So there was enough there that you could build a team. I usually like to try to build it in set, and I'll try to go out at some stage. But yeah, I guess there's a time I'd like to play just all, and I guess Silver's the time, isn't it? To play all the constructs, play the
That would be very cool.
just to sort of see it all in play would be very nice. So that's a great.
Yeah, the two pieces I was mentioning were Death and War. They've got a first children trait where if Apocalypse or Annihilation or Genesis is on your force, modify their attack and defense by +1.
Nice. Okay, so that looks like a fun build to go. Yeah, it's probably not what I'm taking to the shop anytime soon because we don't play that hardcore. But that does sound like a good fun one to build. So I guess I was happy. Certainly getting some of those pieces like Annihilation because looking I can use that one in the future. And I looked through Agent Brand, and I think she could be really useful. She was the one I was going to actually try to use with Hydra Stomper, but it just didn't work out. And yeah, I was certainly more drawn towards the Avengers Forever at the moment. But if I go back to the White Sword, extra swords. And then I've got looking at White Sword here written on my sheet. I know what the White Sword was your chase that you got, and you actually really that was the one you really wanted, wasn't it?
Oh yes, that is going to show up on many teams just for the annoyance factor, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah. And so I know we played against it a couple of weeks ago when we were sort of talking about how to build around it. And so it tweaked me to sort of go away every once in a while. I'd sit down and go, okay, let's try pass keyword, let's try warrior keyword. Araco is very, I guess, restrictive.
Yeah, there's not a lot at the moment for
No.
that.
So in the end, I guess becomes a white sword team build, and how could you make the white sword work well?
And that's part of the fun with HeroClix, as I said last time I was on. Like, the fun is building your own team and building something that you think is going to work and then testing it. So
Exactly, and being able to build the team, and team that you really like. I think that's what I've always gone to nationals with. This is a team I actually really enjoy playing, not just go, oh, here's what everyone else is sort of playing. And look, don't get me wrong, I've looked and gone, here's what other people are playing. Oh yeah, I might see if I can bring that element in, but how can I make it mine?
yeah,
So I would say I worked off of for nationals, Spider Hammer Eye, chip combination, which people had been using to sort of cross the map quickly, but actually then I tried to use it in a different way, and so I liked that team building. So, with that being said, the white sword, how would you go about building that team? And I guess that is the question. No, what's going on? Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what's happening here. My computer's not working. Yes, it is. Okay. And people watching on YouTube would go, wow, we can see everything he's doing now. That's fine. There we go. I was just trying to find my piece. So this is going to come up on the wrong screen. There it is too. Okay, I'll leave it on the screen. So I built a white sword team, Anthony, over the last couple of days. And this is what I was thinking. Are you happy for me to go through it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so white swords. So what do you like about the white sword, Anthony?
Oh, look, I'm not usually a close combat person, but there is something about this particular figure, especially paired up with his Purity Blade. It just makes it lots of fun. I like the charging. I like the flurry. I like that if you actually do hit, then each time you hit, you generate a Kara warrior, which then can just get in the way.
Yep. So it's that bystander generation that's just really nice, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I guess that was my thinking in building my team, was that I want to try to do that as much as I can, make as many bystanders as possible, because that's the idea of the game, isn't it? And so I've gone with white sword with the purity sword, and so adding to that, I've added annihilation as well. And now looking at two chases from the Ten of Swords set, but
Yep.
annihilation being able to create the Daemon bystanders, and that was the other thing with the white sword I liked, is that he can just generate twice per game, if I remember correctly.
What per game?
Yep, a bystander that's died. And so if you can generate Daemon bystanders, if you send them into battle and they die, go, cool, okay, I'm just going to generate another one. So you can keep them on the map. I was trying to think how that works, because Annihilation's thing says max 3, but if she's not generating them and they're getting generated by the white sword, you can have maybe 5 of them on the map.
Does that mean with her trait where she... if she gets knocked out and can give that to somebody else, does that mean they then have max 3, or is it only max 3 total?
Well, and that's probably something I'd probably need to investigate. But generally, it's usually for that character. But I'd have to check to see whether it was max 3 all up. Anyway, it means that, for me, it was like, cool, white sword can generate, he can run in, he can get the use purity. If he hits, he's making a warrior himself. If a Daemon bystander dies, he can create one of those. So helping that creation of bystanders. The next piece I had was Venom Magneto, because you need someone to carry them all up.
That's just a great piece.
Yeah, well, it's the versatility of Venom Magneto. What you got, leadership, that's your range attacker. Not the best range attacker, but hey, he carries up 4 people and has a free TK. You can't, to be able to carry up, First turn, make a Dame bystander, carry annihilation, the bystander, the white sword, and the fourth person I had there was Dr. Alia Gregor, who's giving +1 to all your bystanders combat values.
Very handy to have.
You just get moving on the map. So yeah, that was my fourth piece I had was Dr. Alia Gregor. Now I will go back and say with Annihilation, if I am correct, Annihilation can also have a Purity sword. So you've got the white sword with the Purity, and you've got Annihilation with the Purity sword, so they can both be generating Akaran warriors as well. Which I just
Well,
like the idea of that.
it's a very cool idea. I would like to see if it actually works in practice. Would you need? You would obviously need two separate swords, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they couldn't have the same
Yeah,
sword. So yeah, so you
yeah.
yeah, if you were
So yeah,
to
that could be very cool if you get both of them to hit, and you've just got Akara warriors just everywhere.
yeah, that's right, and you can just start hope and because they got higher values for attacking, charging in, and hitting, so you know they should be able to pop out some. So if Dr. Alia Gregor there, she's adding 1 to combat values, so you get your Daemon bystander up to a 12 attack, 4 damage exploit.
Yep.
Like that's crazy. And other things I had on the team, seeing as it was unthemed, I had put. You can't go wrong with putting Felix Force in there. Gives you a bit of prob, a bit of outwit. Makes them second guess whether they're going to use their probs and outwits and perplexes.
Yep, I hate that figure.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's always the one that dies first whenever it gets played because everyone just goes, "I just got to kill it," and it's not
Yeah.
unkillable, but it's yeah. And then
Also, mystics. That's such a pain because you really don't want to be taking damage while you're killing something.
and it's only 30 points as well in the end. Like you go, oh, man, I've got to put all this effort into kill it and take damage myself and do this. It can be painful. I like it, but it's also maneuverable. So Felix Force can get out and be in action as well, like be within range to do all his disruption things without having to be carried out by Magneto or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then I was sort of like, I think I had like 60 points left over, and I was and ahhing what to put on there. So in the end, I put on the Prime Swordsman because I just really like that piece. It's got like a 4 to 6 soup sensors. It's power. It's what is that? No, it's not cosmic power anymore. What do they call it?
Oh.
Anyway,
no, it's totally left my brain.
It has one as well. Cosmic energy. That's what it is.
Cosmic
so he's got
energy,
cosmic energy, so you can roll for your willpower. You can't be outwitted. Look, he could get shot down. I've only got him at 40 points, but he does have adds 1 to bystanders attacks within range. So if you've got him within range and Dr. Ali Gregor within range, you're looking at your Daemon bystander having a 9 charge, a 13 attack quake, has 18 defense for 4 damage. Like exploit, they're just great, and that also helps out the Akara warrior. They'll be a 12 for 3, so you can't go wrong. And
no.
they're sort of thinking, okay, those numbers start to get big. And then finally to finish it off, I just chucked on a Hydra agent. It was 15 points. I had the Cloak of Levitation on the Swordsman as well, just because he can then carry the Hydra agent out with him. Gives him more maneuverability around the sidestep, the flying. And he's also a shooter. So the Swordsman is also a shooter. He's only got 5 range, but he can pick things like energy explosion, and so it gives you a bit more versatility. So sometimes you go, oh no, I've got another bystander team. Okay, cool, energy explosion, bang, take them all out. Or sometimes that energy, like if you're playing against say X-Men team or a Fantastic Four team who are a bit more vulnerable to things like energy explosion, then you've got that choice. So I thought Swordsman was a good piece for being able to make some different choices.
It's good for versatility. I like that.
I was really surprised when I got him. I was happy when I got him. I remember I collected West Coast Avengers. Okay, it's probably Avengers West Coast, but West Coast Avengers for many years, and I remember just like it was, and I was a kid, and I remember the story. He came back and took Mantis and things like that, and it's like, okay, cool. So I was happy to have him. Let's have a look here. So he's got soup senses, but seeds on a 4 to 6. When a swordsman is or adjacent friendly character is missed by a close attack after resolution, deal the attacker 1 penetrating damage. Okay, so that can't go wrong. Here we go. So he's got Mac Long Sword or whatever. He's got free choose one swordsman can use the chosen effect until you choose again. Energy explosion, incapacitate, penetrating psychic blast, poison, or precision strike.
A lot of good choices there.
Yeah, like, oh, they got soup sensors. Cool, I'm going to choose precision strike. Oh, I've got impervious. Cool, I'll go penetrating psychic blast. Oh, there's a group of them. Energy explosion. They've come in really close to me. Okay, poison. And so the choices are there. I just think very versatile. 40 points to have all that choice. It's only on his top click, but hey, that's where you want to keep him, isn't it? On the top click.
Absolutely.
So that was my idea for a team for the White Sword. It looks interesting to try to get out. I don't know how fast it will run, but it should be interesting.
Yeah. It'd be good to trial that one.
Yeah, so that's the one that I know that White Sword was one that you've been looking at. You've tried couple different combinations of White Sword.
Yeah. Trying to. And it never seems to be a theme team, unfortunately. I will work out something eventually.
Yeah, that was the hard one. I think I started to go into past, and then through past you can. Now, one thing is, I know yourself and myself, we don't own every Hero Clix piece that there is.
Oh no!
So, the one that works really well is Doom the Annihilating Conqueror.
Yes,
because then he's got past, and you can add Latveria people in and future people.
I do love a Latverian theme team.
You do love a Latveria theme team, and so that could be a way to go. A bit of that keyword manipulation to help with that. I was trying to figure out if there was a spider option, but I don't think there's one.
I
actually,
think,
Warrior
Spider-Man 1776.
He's Soldier, I think. I believe it might be
Warrior.
Spider Viking. Now that I think about it, because I didn't actually think about that.
I think Spider Ham's martial artist, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Let me just go find it. I'll thank Joe for his use of Clix Nexus. Not that I'm sure that he's probably not listening to us. So Spider Viking has, when establishing theme teams, characters with your starting force of the pirate or warrior keyword, gain the Spider-Man family keyword.
Sure. Unfortunately, another one I do not have, but something to think about.
I've got that one, so that's okay. It's in our mix of characters that we could play with. But yeah, so that one could be good. It's only 60 points to do the keyword sheet, and then you get pirates as well. So that starts to put things. But that puts, so when you go pirate, doesn't that put Kitty in the mix?
I think it would, yes.
Kate Pride, and so then you've got someone who's maybe able to move people around, and Heist Nebula. Oh, I did enjoy playing Heist Nebula.
Yes, she was fun even to play against.
Yeah, Kate Pride from House of X. So she's a pirate, and what's that?
Yeah, if we ever see the X of Swords storyline organized play, there's also a Mojo.
Oh, yes.
Dressed as a pirate.
Yes, there is. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to see that, but that'd be so cool.
And also, you can go the Marauders from the new Marauders comic book, so you get Bishop and Pyro. And,
yeah, so so that Spider Viking might be a good way to manipulate it as well if you want to go for warriors and pirates. And there's some good warriors that go to Wonder Woman, good warriors in that set. So yeah, that sounds pretty fair. So yeah.
Oh, look, you're even looking at with pirate. You'd even be looking at Corsair and all of his motley crew.
Yes, so then you start looking at what's that, the Star Jammers,
Yeah.
and okay, so now we start. Oh, now I want to start building again. Uh, I might have to go away
Yeah,
and
or
rebuild.
Blackbeard. Blackbeard from the Fantastic Four Future Foundation. He looks like he would also be fun.
He is fun. He's weird, but he's fun. Um, no, cool. Okay, yeah. Okay, I might have to go back to drawing
I mean,
board.
we could just sit here and throw ideas at each other all night.
We could, and I guess that's part of what makes HeroClix so much fun. But we could probably stop. So that was my White Sword build. White Sword with Purity, Annihilation with the Purity, Sword, Venom Magneto, Dr. Alia Gregor, Felix Force, the Swordsman with the Cloak of Levitation, and the Hydra Agent. I chucked Hydra Agent on there because if he takes Click, then he's got Pulse Wave. And
Ah, nice.
Pulse Wave's always handy to have if you can have it. It's not big and it's not much, but hey, it's Pulse Wave. If you
Yeah,
need it.
taking one click is taking one click.
Exactly. So that was my team for the White Sword. Okay.
Now, you talked about your X of Swords, but you did not talk about your tarot cards, which for me were the coolest part of the set.
Yes, the tarot cards were actually very beautiful. I was really. I don't think I was surprised because I heard on other podcasts how nice the cards look, but then getting them in my hand, I was like, yeah, these are actually really nice. I did get not the play at home kit. I got the miniatures game, so I was glad I got those cards through the tarot cards through the miniature game. They had 5. With my tarot cards, I got one of the mission point ones. I can't remember which one it was now. I should have brought them in. I didn't actually think about the tarot cards that much. I guess I haven't started playing them, so. But I got a mission point one. What I didn't get in my whole case was one that was a sword. So I didn't get any.
X of Swords had no swords tarot cards. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I was like, oh come on. And so then if I had that, I couldn't actually play a tarot deck because I got no sword.
You got to have one of each.
One of each.
Yeah.
So I've only got the one that comes from out of the miniatures game to put in my tarot deck at the moment. But it's still something I'm building on. I'm just trying to think. What did I get? I can't actually see them in. Oh, here they are. Oh, they're all separated. I could go through it. I got 10 different ones, which was happy.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I got Ace of Pentacles. I did get a lot of. I don't think I got 10 of Pentacles, but I can't remember exactly what they were. I don't want to go through and go. All right, just hang on while I look through all this. Temperance was the I got the 5 of no, that's came in that kit. I got Temperance, which is when a character successfully breaks away, that character's controller gains 1 mission point. I was like, yes,
That's a cool one to have.
that one. That one could be good on a wrecker team where you're trying to just, I'm going to sidestep breakaway, cool mission point, and I'm going to break this wall as well, so that's 2 mission points. That was one I was really happy to get, so that goes on a mission point team. And so I guess for me, I'm going to probably track down, like, I know there's really amazing tarot cards that will do fantastic jobs, like in high competitive stuff, but I'm probably just looking more at the mission point ones. The only difficulty of that is that they're all the major arcana, so you can only have, you have to work out how that deck works.
Yeah. And I've got one for you, I believe. It's the wheel.
Yes.
Something to do with the wheel, so I've got that aside for you.
Excellent. And I know, okay, yeah, so we talk about sort of the new HeroClix. I can't remember if I said, but I did buy 2 cases of War of Light because they were really cheap. And yeah, I pulled a parallax, so I know I've got a parallax for you for that. Oh, there we go. So that, and maybe I know you had Hope Summers as well.
I certainly do.
Yep. Okay. So I think
do a nice little trade there. I'm happy with that.
I think that sounds like a good start. I'm happy with that. That works well.
And I do have to on air offer an apology to Bobby.
Yeah.
Who probably about 2 months ago contacted me for trades, and because I'd started in a new position or was acting in a new position, I have not gotten back to him. So Bobby, I am really sorry. I'm just really scatterbrained at the moment. I will get back to you eventually, or you can hound me for them. Either way.
Cool. Okay. So, Bobby, if you catch that, Anthony will get onto you at some stage. If not, you get onto him. Uh, So, look, I guess it's one of those things in Australia. Trading's a little bit more scarce because it's trying to find things that people haven't got. And if you can, that's great. So, I know that I've really enjoyed our trading sessions that we've had across the country. Oh, you've got a couple pieces I need. I've got a couple pieces you need. Done. Let's do that. That sounds really good.
And it's always nice getting HeroClix through the mail.
It is. I enjoy getting to the post office and go, oh, there's a box. Woohoo, yeah, cool. New HeroClix, new HeroClix. And then you get home and it's like jewelry from my wife. Like, no, I didn't want that. I want new HeroClix. And especially sometimes, and it's only rare, but sometimes there's like, you go to the post office, oh, there's a box here for me. What's that? Oh, I don't know. And then you get it home. Wow, HeroClix. So I've had, I think you did that one to me once. You just sort of sent HeroClix my way. And all of a sudden,
I might have done that, yeah.
Rocked up and I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. Oh, that's always pretty cool. Okay, so that was my white sword build. We'll have to continue to test it out, and you've got a chance to continue to work on your build. I'm thinking that you're going to be using white sword at Nationals next year, so
Well, I would really like to, and yeah, we'll see what weird and wonderful things I can come up with.
And as we get more pieces coming into modern, and we're probably obviously going to lose those pieces, but you'll be able to. You're going to lose some. What? I hate to speculate, but you'd probably think Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, maybe House of X.
Yeah.
Go. But then you're going to have new sets. Oh, that was something I saw today. I saw the Iconics. I saw a pack for the Iconics, and it's sort of like just like a single figure. They're not in boosters. So there's the Iconic set. I don't know if you saw anything about the Iconic set. Sorry, Anthony, as I just quickly changed tack.
No. It's I did see the Spider-Man pointing.
Yeah.
I didn't see pictures of that, so
And
I thought that was quite interesting. And it does make me wonder whether they're going to be sold as, say, the 10th anniversary DC and Marvel sets were in just the single booster, or are they going to end up actually being prizes for a competition down the track?
I had reason to go look at the distributor to look at Let's Play Games, and because I was just trying to see if they had any more Avengers Forever booster bricks. And so as I was scrolling through, it had HeroClix Iconics, and it had a picture here which is it says for pre-order. And it's a box and it's got both Spider-Man. It says Spider-Man Double Identity. I'll click on it now. And so what is it? It's saying it's $40 Australian. And
Yep.
it says I'm Spider-Man. No, I'm Spider-Man. What could be better than a Spider-Man miniature figure? Two Spider-Man minis, but which one is the real Spider-Man? You have to take the battlefield to find out. So Spider-Man Double Identity is the first ever Marvel HeroClix iconic release, made specifically for the collector. Iconics capture moments that you love from the comics universe and brings them to the game shelf, play table, or HeroClix collection.
Okay.
Yep. So it says this Iconics release brings to life a beloved scene from the Double Identity episode of the 1960s Spider-Man cartoon that has found a second life spreading virally around the comic and online communities, becoming a culturally iconic Spidey scene.
So yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. And so it says this product contains 2 unique Spider-Man figures in iconic pointing poses, 2 character cards with unique web foil pattern. So obviously the foil cards, and also a windowed box with diorama display.
Of course, because it looks so pretty sitting on the shelf like that.
Yeah, well, it looks like you have that background of the background of the cartoon. So that's cool.
Yep.
Costly, I guess, $40 Australian for 2 hero
For 2
kits.
figures.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose if it comes with, I'm guessing it doesn't because it doesn't say it there, but if it came with a map and, maybe dice and a couple of other little bits and pieces, that would make it more cost friendly for us.
But no, it looks like it's just the 2 HeroClix pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll make things interesting. I have to have a look at see what they like. But that was the only one I saw on. Because then I was looking through, going, is did I have any more? Did I have like the Thanos snap or? But that was the
The
only one.
breaking of the bat.
Yeah, the breaking of the bat. That was the only one they had. So I guess I'll wait and see, and if more pop up in the future.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my tangent off. That was a very Raph moment where I just went off tangent. Okay, so last thing we spoke about White Sword. Let's get into some questions from Malcolm Rush. Are you up for that,
Love
Anthony?
these. Oh yeah.
Yep. So Malcolm, who lives in Japan, and yeah, great guy. I did enjoy having games against him, but he has sent in questions about sets, and so he's got 10 questions. I don't know if I can actually answer them all, but let's go from the top, Anthony. So let's start off. So his first question was the top 3 sets of all time. And I guess this is your opinion. What is
Yep.
the top
Just
3?
my opinion.
Yeah. So what is now? Do you have a top 1, 2, 3, or have you just got like these are my 3 favorite?
Look, probably 3 favorites. I mean, there are a couple of honorable mentions, obviously, and I know that you've got one of my honorable mentions in your top 3.
Okay, cool.
So my top 3 were obviously Wolverine and the X-Men,
Okay, so
a set that I started playing with.
yep. So that was your first one, Wolverine and
That was
X-Men.
my first one.
So that was because that was your first set.
That was my first set, and it had so many cool things in it, and it had team bases and all the new mutants and bad guys, and it was just a wonderful set.
Awesome. My I'm going to start from the bottom. I will build up to it as people to see if they might be able to figure out which one it is. But I had at number 3, top sets of all time was War of Light. I just like I only purchased some like in the last 3 months again because it's just such an iconic set for myself. I really enjoyed playing War of Light. Just the figures are always beautiful. Look, as I work for kids at school, and when we start doing HeroClix, the War of Light is something that they love. They love the fighting the rings, and they love wearing the rings, and then just the beautiful color, like the translucent pieces and things like that. It's always still a favorite of kids. The War of Light set, even though it's old now. So that was my third. What's your second, Anthony?
Well, in fact, my second was War of Light. I had so much fun playing that. I love the different factions, and I loved using the red lens and just having Dexter, and the number of times with Shape Change and Super Sense that he rolled out of attacks where he really should have died and then just cut people to pieces was so much fun.
Yeah, that's such a great piece. That is just one of those. It's one of those pieces from that set that still holds up reasonably well because it's got that shape change super sensors. And okay, we both agree War of Light is one of the top 3 sets of all time.
Yes, most definitely.
My second one, and this may come as a surprise, but I had WWE.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing WWE. It's some of the best fun I've had playing because it just feels, especially when you play just the wrestlers together, it feels very wrestling like. Yeah, what I have Undertaker picking up Asuka and doing a tombstone pile driver on her, and you just go, this is awesome. It's just so much fun. Or like I had the Macho Man Randy Savage elbow off the top rope with a garbage lid onto someone. It's like, okay, I could just see this happening in actual wrestling, and so I've just had so much fun playing them, and then I find them really easy just to pull out and go right, even though they have different powers. It's still pretty easy just to pull out and go right. Let's play these. Okay, there's no shooting in WWE, so it's all let's just get in and battle, and I think that's one of the things I really liked about it.
When you play them, do you start every game with "Let's get ready to rumble"?
Not every time, but we have been known to have characters, and then like I went and downloaded like a whole lot of the theme songs onto my phone. So I go, oh cool, Asuka's moving up, she's doing a grand entrance, and the and so you can play the music as they're moving up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Generally home games, those sounds. Excuse me. Okay, what about your? What was your? So I've gone from third to first, and you've gone from first to third, or ones that you actually
Yes,
enjoy. So
yes. So
what's your
my
go?
my third is another mutant set. It's actually X-Men Xavier's School,
Ooh.
which I know it's not a hugely popular one, but it had ID cards, and I love the student and the faculty ID cards. You had so many more of the more modern X-Men and side characters, which was so cool in a completist kind of way. Sure, there's Wolverine and there's Cyclops, but you get Hellion and Rusty and Skids. You get Cypher, which I think Cypher was the first time in a long time that you'd actually gotten him. I think previously he was maybe giant size X-Men, and then before that he was a Pog.
Yep.
And like you get characters like Penance from Generation X, and you have really cool things like the Professor X Prime, where he was the Brood Queen.
Brood X.
The Brood X. Yeah, there was just so many really awesome and sometimes really odd characters involved in this, and it just kind of really made the set for me.
No, I totally get that. That was a very great set. I enjoyed the ID cards out of that. Look, am I glad that ID cards aren't a thing in modern anymore? Yes, but you had, if you got the right combinations, a Wolverine and an ID card and a Cyclops and an ID card, you were looking pretty good. But it was also just
Yep.
fun. Like I enjoyed Moira. They had the X students. Just these generic pieces that you could play and put use the different mutant powers. You could line them up how you needed it to be. I agree. That was a really good set.
Oh yeah, there was one of those ex students where he was like TK for 15 points, and
Yeah.
how amazing is that for an X-Men team?
Yep. And there was one that could double TK, but he wasn't one of those X students. I can't remember who that was. But he was one of the Hellions. He could like double TK, if I remember correctly.
I think in fact he was called Hellion.
Oh, yep. Yeah, okay, there you go. There you go. That was probably it. So, yeah, that's a great choice. I totally understand why you would do that one. For me,
What is your number one?
yeah, for me, my number one is Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Awesome set.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this set. It's old now, but it had some. For me, it had the Hydra pieces in there, and I really loved how those Hydra pieces played. The
Yeah.
things they can do. For me, it was the Baron Strucker. He just if you had a Hydra piece and it died, cool, everyone gets +1 to their combat values. And I just remember things like, if you didn't say anything in the first turn, you sort of run a few Hydra people out, and they go, cool, I'm going to kill this one, this one, this one. I say, that's fine. Everyone's got +3 to their combat values for the rest of this turn, or for my next turn, and all of a sudden you come firing in with, big values, which is really cool fun.
There were a lot of really good parts of that set, and I love the Shield characters from it.
Yeah,
Like that was one of the things that I loved about that set. And you did have Nick Fury, but you had you had Peggy Carter, you had Jimmy Woo.
yeah.
It was really cool. And obviously you had the characters from the Agents of Shield TV series. So you got an Agent May, you got a Fitch, you got a Simmons. It was
Yeah,
you got Daisy
always
Johnson.
I always enjoyed playing Agent May and say, right, here comes the cavalry, let's go. It was just one of those sets. Look, the chasers were the equipment vehicles.
Vehicles,
So
yeah.
that was a bit. That they probably weren't as great, but you had ID cards. Everyone was chasing a level 7 ID card, level 9 ID card, so they could drop Nick Fury. You had Nick Fury, or Balls of Fury, like
Oh, yes.
an iconic piece that no one ever wants to see really come back in.
I am waiting for the legacy card for that one
Yeah,
because I would play the snot out of
you have to think
that.
that one day that's going to get legacy carded just because it's just one of those pieces.
There were other pieces as well, like Hive, which was a Hydra
Yeah.
piece, and I love that piece. And you'd have the little parasites that would drop down, and you'd
Oh,
have like Iron Nail, where you'd drain the power next to people next to them.
yeah. I always enjoyed so, and this it's a set. Just trying to check my notes here. It's a set that's just got better because things like a Hydra. So for me, a Hydra recruit, 20 points, but starts with willpower. And now you've got Indomitable. They just go. Like, they
Yeah,
can just go. You had the Infiltrators, who also had willpower, but then you had the a Nile agent as well, and like, but just all of them now being so, because it was always very stop starty, like, cool, everyone's going to move up and then they're going to rest, but with this you could just keep going, like with it change to Indom.
yeah.
Who did I like? Was it? It was, I think it was Imperial Hydra. Yes, the Imperial Hydra, the one in the chair.
Yes.
Yeah, two heads shall take place. When another friendly character, the Hydra keyword is KO'd, and action resolves, you may give Imperial Hydra an action token if you do roll a d6 that can't be rolled. And the amount of times I roll a 6, and you get to place two characters from outside the game with the Hydra keyword of 40 points or less adjacent to Imperial Hydra, just have. Oh, it just was used to be able to flood the board with Hydra people. It was just so much fun.
Tell you a piece that I did like to use a fair bit was Hydra Agent H. 30 points, had a
Yeah,
range of 7.
yeah, ranged combat expert.
That's right.
And so,
And the shield team
and the
ability
shit,
as
yeah,
well as the Hydra team
yeah. So
ability.
that was yeah, that yeah. Go sit them in a bush somewhere, and they're just pinging people. And you go now. Like, you used to make the choice, 10 for one, or sorry, 12 for one, or but now it's just like 11 for two with the range combat expert. You get
Yeah.
someone next to her. Now I used to play. I think it's Hydra. Is that Hydra H? Is it recruit? Yeah, the recruit's got empower enhancement. Sorry, so I think I used to run like the three of them, and so I used to run two Hydra recruits plus Agent H together, and then she was like doing, she was 11 for four, shooting from out the
Yeah.
bush. It's just great. And then your Hydra team ability to take things down. And don't get me wrong, I played lots of the Shield as well because the Shield characters were just as good.
Oh, they were. And I might just mention, I think this is the very first set where we get Sam as Captain America and we get Lady Thor.
Yes, it
We
was.
get Jane Foster as Thor.
Yeah, that was the first Jane Foster Thor. I have trouble
And I
saying
think at
Thor.
that point in time, it hadn't been revealed in the comic, so it's still listed as real name unknown.
Ooh. Oh, I have to check that out. I do have one.
And,
But
and I think we've both forgotten some big thing, like a very
a
big
big,
blocky
a
thing.
big blocky thing. We have forgotten a big blocky thing. And also in Nick Fury Agents of Shield, they had the build your own Iron Man Hulkbuster.
And each part took up the spot of a character.
It did, but you could use the pieces by themselves,
You could.
or you
So I
could,
suppose it's early equipment.
yeah, it was. If you have a look, it sort of says, and I guess the thing with equipment was give a friendly character. So looking at what am I looking at here? The right leg. Give a friendly character in the square or holding the subject a power action to equip it. So it was basically that equipment that you could use. And so it works like equipment does. So I guess today, because it's not really equipment. I don't know if you would. Sorry if you'd auto equip it or not, but yeah, you're right. That was a really cool piece.
So yeah, a very good choice for number one.
Cool. Okay. Wow, that one probably went a little bit longer than I was expecting, but I guess it's when you feel passionate about these sets that you want to talk. Okay, let's try to move through quickly. I may not hit them all unless you've got something that you want to that you go. Oh yes, I must have that. So the worst. Did you have worst three sets of all time?
Look, the number one that jumps out at me every time, and it might be because I'm not really a DC person. It's always Superman and the Legion of Superheroes.
Okay. Yep.
Like that stayed on the shelves in the store that I played in for far too long. And I'm not sure whether Flash came out before or after it, but Flash disappeared in a flash.
Yeah, I
And
believe.
this one just hung around, and I think they ended up marking down the bricks to like $50 each.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think Flash did come. Flash. I'm pretty sure Flash came after it. Okay, so yep, that makes sense. Yeah, it was an interesting one, I must say. Probably wasn't my favorite, but I didn't actually make it to my worst list. Mine worst I had was Teen Titans.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah,
Like it had the team bases, but it just was a bit blur as a set. I don't know. It just wasn't one that really intrigued me. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed. There was some piece in there. I think Bunker was one of my favorite pieces out of that. Just
yeah.
being able.
Bunker was cool. His little purple pieces.
Yeah, that's right. But overall, it wouldn't be a set. It's not something I go reach back to. Yeah, cool. I must play my Teen Titans.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yep. Did you have any more? I found it.
Look,
I found this really hard because I just like all sets in general because it's just new. It's HeroClix. I have to say.
I suppose that's true, but probably Earth X and Avengers Infinity.
Okay.
I
Wow.
found the range for Avengers Infinity was a
Oh,
little limited.
yep. So that had the colossals in it, but the
It did, and even then, it didn't top my list of good sets or mediocre sets.
yep. Okay, that's fair. The pieces, certainly the normal size clicks and that that weren't super. Again, you're always going to have some really great pieces, but I think
I
wasn't.
mean, I had Pip the Troll, and I thought Pip the Troll was pretty cool.
Yeah, I Pip Troll. Yeah, he was on my. Yeah, I enjoyed Pip Troll. It didn't wasn't unseen in that one.
Ah, yes,
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 so you get
it
things
most
like
certainly was.
you get things like that, and I always think like the giant girls. Not giant girls. What are they called? Yeah, giant girl. Yeah, giant girl.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Yeah, but and I can see that that makes sense to me. Why that would probably be on your list. A second one for me. Start this again. It's this got really hard. I had Brave and the Bold. Just probably because I didn't get much of it myself. That was the one that was
Yeah.
really early on, and that had like the I think all the super rares were duo figures.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. I think that it also had the Wonder Twins and Bleak.
I believe so. I think it was before they went into the hiatus period. It
Yeah.
may have been the last set before they went on hiatus into the dark time of HeroClix.
That is going back quite a way.
That is going back quite a way. So I think it was more so that I probably didn't get very much of it, or it was hard to get. So I didn't get to play much of it. So I know it was after. No, it was after. Oh, fair enough. It was the set. Oh yeah, there we go. So it was this first DC set back after the hiatus. That's what it was. So yeah, Brave and the Bold was mine, and then I found it really hard because I just like every set. I did put Incredible Hulk, so the Incredible Hulk set on there. Just some of those pieces were Red King could have been better, but there was some cool pieces. And the other one I had was Rebirth.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that.
Rebirth, what you get, what Mr. Oz. There was
Yeah, everyone loves Mr.
yeah,
Oz.
Mr. Oz. Look, I played Prez Ricard, and I was still playing Prez Ricard because he was just great. But the rest of them felt like they were not in the same time as the other hero clicks around them, if that makes sense. They were sort of
Yeah.
overcosted for the powers that they were, or for what they were able to do compared to the other sets around that time. That was my thinking.
Yeah,
You,
there were some interesting choices in there. I will give it that.
you said Earth X.
Yes. I, yeah, I really tried to like Earth X, and I had a little bit of it, and I know everybody loves the Vulture, the Vulture line, which understand. I got that one as well, and it is fun. But I think overall, and even though it did come with equipment, it came with some cool little bits like the octopus legs, not eggs,
Octopus eggs
and
were cool.
the Beatles' little pack to fly with, and like there was some nice little bits in there, like had the mini slayers and the web shooters, like Goblin Glider,
Did you read
but the
Earth?
figures themselves, like they rarely got much play with me. And
Yeah.
yes, I know that the Venom chases started with that, but they seem fairly disinteresting
Yep.
or just uninteresting for me.
Yeah, and if you're not a Venom
Like,
person, so that certainly doesn't.
and it was also like the way they were painted. And I know it definitely matches the feel of the comic book. So, that was obviously a choice. They wanted to go as close to that as possible, but I don't know, it didn't feel like a good set to me.
Okay, that's certainly fine. Um, I can see where that comes from, so that makes sense to me.
It's funny, just go through and list all the good things about the set and then go, nah, it wasn't any good.
Well, but yeah, and when you pick out five things, you go, okay, was there? So then there's lots of other things in there that maybe weren't as much fun. Like they had Hydra pieces in it, but they were, and I didn't mind playing them, but they were a bit harder to work with. Oh, they were okay. I can understand why you wouldn't have enjoyed that, or maybe be on the worst sets. Okay, so we move along to question number 3.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's your most underrated set?
Well, you had it for number one. So my most underrated set was Nick Fury and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because, as we were saying, it is pretty amazing.
Yep, I agreed. I'll hopefully squeeze through this one. My underrated set was actually Secret Wars Battle World. Now,
Yeah.
like it had some great pieces in it. I actually played a fair bit of it, and I enjoyed just making swarms of like Hulks, and it was a really fun set to play. It just didn't have the super powerhouses that people might have been looking for,
Yep.
and that's why I still think it's underrated. But I think, and I probably should go back to it and pull it back out and play with it again some more. But how it's been affected by the changes to modern would also be interesting to have a look at. So yeah, Secret Wars Battle World was mine. I just for some reason really enjoyed playing a lot of that. It had because it had those different things. So like for me, it was like I could go, cool. I'm going to go down the Wild West route here and have like the gunslingers and Sir Steve Rogers, or it had
Yep.
the Thanos, the time Thanos, and then you could make the duplicates. Had the Thors in it, where you could
Yes.
with the
Those were very cool.
okay. I just remember running teams of Magnum Men. Had the World Breakers. Had Outriders. I don't know how many I think I got like 10, 15 Outriders or something like that to build those. And then you still had things like Molly Hayes.
Oh, yeah. I got the entire run of the Runaways. I got the case that had all the Runaways in it.
Oh wow,
And I
nice.
was so happy with that.
Yep.
Like, I had to go into Galaxy in Sydney, which is next to the QBD building. Brendan used to run HeroClix through there,
Yep.
and I drove up from Canberra, then I caught the train, and I got those, and I'm coming back on the train, and I'm opening the boosters in the train and going, "Oh, I've got this! Oh, I've got this!" Because I didn't want to have to wait, 2.5 hours while I was driving. It was like, no, I'm going to find out what they are now, and I was so excited about that.
Yep. And so I just think it's we sort of lose, like you look at the chasers. You got the Gauntlet Black Panther. There was Sheriff Strange was one of those. It gave us the first lot of the Avengers 1 billion BC characters as well. So that's my underrated set.
So I had Witch Hunter Angela. I love that because it was good for messing with Colossal Retaliation.
Yep. So there was just some really cool things. I don't know. It's I think I've built with most stuff in this set. Even like the Archon. So Archon was a
Yep.
weird piece. Like opposing I don't know, what does it say? There's one at the beginning of the turn an opponent places Archon in an adjacent square. And so that was really annoying and frustrating, but also very cool fun. Yeah, Spinneret, Spider. Okay, I'm going to stop because I could go through that all day. What about your most overrated set? If I was moving on to question 4, which one have people pumped up? Yeah, this is amazing, and it's actually not. I didn't think it was that
Yep.
great.
Civil War.
Yep.
I thought that was a bit overrated. But I'm not saying there weren't cool pieces in it, and some of the sculpts were pretty nice, but overall, I thought it was not that great.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I struggled with this one. This is where I sort of came to a grinding halt, going, I don't know. So I like them all, and I did actually. What did I wrote here and then crossed out. I wrote the Mighty Thor. Um,
Ah, I can see that because we all loved the Colossal Retaliators and we all wanted the hammers.
yep,
But then if we look past that, it's like, oh, what else is there?
yeah, and so and I think I crossed out because like, oh, it had retails in it because I think I started writing some notes going, oh, had it, the equipment everyone Molnir or had
Yeah.
had retails and like cross out. Okay, but no, I think looking back, we rate it highly because it had those things. But if you take them out, it was an average set.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done that one. Okay, so number 5 was which set has aged badly. Now I found these really hard because I was unsure what to say. So I don't know if you have a set that aged
I
badly, Anthony.
look, I do because I think at the time it probably wasn't top of the game,
Yep.
and that was Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Like it had ID cards, which I loved. The chases were interesting. There were so many of like just random Ultrons as well. But it's like it was mostly, from what I remember, and you please correct me if I'm wrong. There was a lot of up close and high costed pieces that probably today would not be like 150 points. They might be 75. So it makes it very hard to play those things.
Yeah.
Like there was an awesome Black Panther, but that Black Panther was 140 points.
Yep.
There's a fantastic looking, at least, Ms. Marvel, but I think that was like 135 or 140, and even then it wasn't something that I was willing to play because it was so costly.
So they're overcosted then, and now they're just super overcosted now.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes total sense.
Also, most of the set has sidestep. Sidestep. It was just so much of it, and it was so frustrating to play.
Sidestep. Sidestep. Sorry, I'm banging it out here. For myself, I've found this one really hard. I think I went Guardians of the Galaxy, so the first one. But then I go, but I did like some of those pieces there. It had Thane in it, and it had that big robot guy in it. But yeah, I think for me, that's aged badly has been the Guardian of the Galaxy set. Again, I think it comes down to point costs, and so that's why I really like legacy cards coming through because they're changing those point costs and making them better.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6. Which one has aged well? So which one has been
Ooh.
the fine wine of HeroClix, I guess?
Look, honestly, I'm not sure. Like, I was thinking um, one of the X-Men sets, the Uncanny X-Men,
Yep.
because while the dials aren't like the defense values and the attack values aren't high, for their cost, they're actually fairly reasonable. I
Yep.
mean, not as good as some of the later X-Men sets that we now have, but Colossus for 50 points, back then, and
Yeah.
top dial, 7 movement with charge, 10 attack, 18 defense with invincible, and that's not terrible.
No, not at all. Not at all. So that's a good choice. I was thinking along the X Men line as well. I had Wolverine and X Men. I still think that's just aged pretty well. It's just like one of those sets that's just great. You can still pull out team bases and have a good time with them. Or
That's true.
maybe a good time with them. Depends which side of the team base you're on. Okay, which was the funnest set to play in which format? Is that question number 7? This was
That's a hard one.
That is a tricky one. Look, I'm going to go. The funnest set to play I actually found was Justice League Unlimited. I played a lot of that, especially over the world break time, I guess.
Yep.
And we did and tried some things of sealed and just constructed. I think that funnest set play for me is when we do constructed in set. So just build a team from that set. And I really enjoyed doing that. And so I really enjoyed Justice League Unlimited to give a bit of DC love out there.
Yeah. Like I'll admit I am mostly focused on Marvel sets,
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
the Batman the Animated Series and obviously that one, they were amazing
Yeah,
sets.
they were. Those great sets.
Uh,
Yeah.
I might have to say, like, the funnest sets that I had to play were probably X-Men the Animated Series. I like having the, like, in a sealed environment, just having that super booster. You know, each one had the giant character,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'll
Yep.
say like 80% of the giant characters you pulled were pretty good.
Yep.
You know, they weren't all Dark Phoenix
Yeah, like,
or, you know,
and but that was the difference between that and in Avengers Infinity. You go, cool, I got a car,
yeah.
and oh, the
It's
person
like, oh,
over,
it is a spider car though.
yeah, and but the person over there, they've pulled like Infinity, and you go, okay, I'm not going to be matching that. Whereas it felt very like obviously if you pulled a Wendigo or something like that, you were feeling pretty good, but
Yep.
you could pull a Juggernaut. There was lots in that one. I agree with you, Anthony. Now I go, oh yeah, okay, might change my answer.
And obviously, as a lover of the X-Men animated series, it was so cool to see so many of the characters from the cartoon. And the fact that they also expanded out with the Brotherhood and the Acolytes. And, you know, there were so many really cool characters and Sentinels. You know, it's just,
I
you
have
know, so many fun things to run.
I want to say I have too many Sentinels, but I don't. I don't have enough. But
You can never have
you
too
can
many
that's
Sentinels.
right. But yeah, and like the Cyclops Sentinel. Yep, yeah, that was a good choice, Anthony. Why didn't I think of that one? It looks like we're going to get through all these before the end. So, is there question number 8? So I'm going to keep going because it is getting later.
Yeah.
Which set surprised you the most?
Oh, this is actually a pretty easy one. It's the Fantastic Four set that came out, well, recently, but the first one. So I
Yep,
think it is just Fantastic Four.
yep. And why was that?
Um, oh, why? Oh, well. Look, that one came in, and I think I got that one and um, the Spider-Man Carnage, no, Spider-Man Venom set at the same time.
Yes.
And for Venom, I went overboard. I bought 5 bricks. And yeah, I know. Admittedly, one of those bricks was supposed to be for a friend, but he decided he didn't want it. And I went, what's another brick? Okay, cool. But at that time, I'd also ordered just a single case, so 2 bricks of Fantastic Four. And they all came in at once, as these things are known to happen.
Yep. Welcome to Australia.
Yep. And, like, opening them up, and I wasn't expecting too much from Fantastic Four. It was like, oh, cool, they're back in HeroClix. But then when I started opening them up and, you know, pulling the different characters, and it wasn't just, you know, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, or Thing. You know, you got some cool bits like Trapstock,
Yeah, the traps.
or, you know, you got Nova. You got X-23 going into a different type of Fantastic Four. You got Ghost Rider, Valeria Richards, which is one of my favorite figures to use because I love a Latverian team and she is so versatile. Like, you
Yes.
had callbacks as well to, like, Firelord at 40 points just being fantastic. And who else did you get? You got
So I look through and go
uh
things like, so you had your Black Leopard Prime,
oh yeah,
like so that was yeah. I've enjoyed playing Black Leopard, Thundra. Um,
yeah, Silver Surfer and the Silver Surfer Prime with the scrolls.
yes. So
Yeah, they while I, as I have said, I didn't enjoy the Earth X. They did throw in some Earth X figures there because they were sorely missing from that original set,
yep,
because they're vital in the actual comic, and to not have them in it was a bit weird.
had Dad Thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, the Dad Thing was yeah great. Like yeah, no, that's a again good call, Anthony.
Yeah, and like even the chasers. Like, I'm still trying to chase down a God Emperor Doom, but like they were just so much fun, and I love that Franklin. Like,
Yeah,
you hit him hard enough, and he becomes a real threat. So you either ignore him all game and do him last, or you knock him out first and, you know, suffer his wrath.
yeah, and I've done both, and had both. So no, that's yeah. great. That's a great choice. So which set surprised me the most?
Yeah.
I'm actually probably gonna. I'm gonna go. I think it was ABPI. I wasn't really expecting much from that, and then all of a sudden, bam! There's gems everywhere, and there's like
Yep.
ultra chasers, and I was like, okay, I just thought it was going to be another like so. Like War of the Realm felt like a lull set, and I think in some ways Avengers Forever does as well. You know, War of the Realms just had characters. Avengers Forever's just got characters, and I thought that was going to be the same with ABPI. But then all of a sudden, like, wow, there's these gems, and you got these big characters, and they can see through stuff and do things, and I was like, okay, this is just this is gonna impact the game for a while, and so that's it. That
Yeah, and it did, and there were so many cool bits and pieces in there.
yeah, just that you had cubes and you had so that because that had the Kobik in it, and it just was a great set. And I wasn't expecting it to be, and then it was like, wow, cool, bang. Like, I'm not a big Wakandan person, but there was all the, so you go back and Avengers Defenders was, a few sets before that, but it had some stuff that married up really nicely with that. You could build great Wakandan teams, and yeah,
Yeah, you get Ao and Annika, you get Shuri.
yeah.
You
So
know, you also like had other things like the AIM, red, white, and blue people.
yes, yes. And see that I wasn't expecting that, and I've actually just played a team of just red, white, and blue aim agents, and it was great fun because you got ones that are shooting and they can help each other out, and that was just fantastic. So that was one that surprised me, and it probably shouldn't have surprised me, but it did.
Yeah, oh, that has one of my favorite pieces of all time, the Astronomer.
Yes, that's many people. I got to get sick and tired of seeing astronomer, but why not?
And I'm pretty sure that this set put out my favorite map as well, with the mound of vibranium. So that was really cool.
There you go. So that would be one that surprised me. Right, we got two questions left to go. So thanks, Malcolm. We'll continue to go through. So Anthony, set or sets that had the most impact on the game.
Okay. First up, I would say Avengers Assemble, because I think it introduced the ID cards.
Okay, there you go. Yep.
So, and it was a good set. It was a fun set. The chases were amazing. So, obviously that's where the Rick Jones came from, and King Thor. I think there's a Captain America with the Nova helmet on. There's a Black Widow as Thor.
Yep.
So like, there's really cool pieces through there. Like there's a Jarvis, and like, how often do you get that?
Yes, very true. And so that was the one that that was the first set that had ID cards. Yep.
Yeah,
And that well,
and
you go.
I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, obviously they continue on through other sets. So Nick Fury, Agents of Shield, Age of Ultron, and then we get them through some DC sets as well.
But we know the impact they've had on the game.
Yes, yes. To be able to call in a character for 5 or 10 points, and just have it wipe out your colossal retaliators, just done. And it's like, all right,
And then just
well, I can't hit that character because now it's gone.
yeah, and then just be able to blip it off the board and you can't attack it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's again. I'm really liking the choices. I think from that set, I really liked the Hawkeye. There was a Hawkeye in there where you could put a token on him and take it off. You could have like a 14 range if you needed to, which was just really cool
Yes.
if I remember correctly. I had so when you said Avengers Assemble, I was like, oh wow, I had Avengers, which was the first full set that had cards. So that sort of changed the game from being everything was on the board. Well, okay, not everything was on the board because you had your battlefield conditions and things like that. But then all of a sudden you had a card, and I was like, ooh, I was a card collector for years, so I was like, ooh, cool. Now we've got two things to collect from the one pack. Okay, how could they go wrong? They're selling to people that like to collect things and cool cards. So, and then being able to have that, and that then has allowed for the opportunity for things like special powers to come into the game. So having a card, the first card set was for me. Did you have any more?
I was going to say Mighty Thor, for Colossal Retaliators coming in, but that wasn't the actual first set that had Colossal Retaliators, if I remember rightly. It was actually a DC set, wasn't it?
It was. Yep. So there was.
Was that Wonder Woman?
I think it could have been, because I didn't get much of that. It had the Atoms, had the Atom, if I remember correctly. That was
Yes,
one.
yes.
But I had Mighty Thor on there, and I in brackets had Retails, because I guess that's where it sort of came in. All of a sudden, you had Surtur and Carnage and Mangog coming across the
Mangog,
board and
yeah.
causing carnage everywhere. So yep,
And that did change the game a little.
yeah, because then all of a sudden you're like, how do I get up there to kill their Retails? Can I survive a Retail attack? How can I get up there, drop an ID card, and take everyone out?
Yep.
So very true. I had that. That was on my list, as I said, and the other one I had on my list was Hammer of Thor, which was the return of Clix. I remember I was so excited to start because I was playing before the hiatus, I guess, and then all of a sudden they said we're not making any more. I was like, oh man, I really enjoyed this game, but I was only new into it, I guess. But we said, oh no, we'll keep playing. And then when they said, oh, we're going to release new ones, I was like, yay! So that made me really happy.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Did you have any more?
No, not really. That were the two that really came to mind.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose a little bit the Ninja Turtles sets, because that kind of brought indie back a little bit, which was
Yes.
really good.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good call.
I mean, sure, we don't use that stuff as much anymore, but it did pave the way for, say, the wrestling figures.
Yeah. No, good call.
So.
Good call. Okay. Let's get to the last question, because this one's starting to go on. Which set? Okay, so Malcolm's last question is, which set you hate to play against? Which set do you hate to play against? This one was tough.
Look, Ben, I don't think there's a particular set that I hate to play against. I mean, there's particular figures that I hate to play against, but I've never gone, oh no, somebody's pulled 2 boosters of, Wonder Woman, or 2 boosters of the Mighty Thor. It's always, oh, you pulled that. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, no, like I feel that, all the sets are equal in that respect.
I will say I have a love-hate relationship with Wolverine and X-Men. I think it was because Alan had a team which it took me forever to figure out how to get to it and kill it. And so I loved that it was such a beautiful set, but I hated the fact that I think it had like Cyclops, Longshot, and Jean Grey. Just used to rotate those guys around. I was like, oh man, I just can't get through them. Until one day I just worked out I just got to run across and kill them. But live and learn. So that was Malcolm's questions. So thanks for answering those, Anthony, with me.
No, not a problem.
I do enjoy the questions that he gives. So thanks, Malcolm, for your questions. Okay, Anthony, we've talked for a while now.
I think we have, yeah.
So we'll probably need to probably round it up for tonight. So, so thanks for listening to our discussion about HeroClix. You can find us on Twitter and on Facebook. Clix, Barbie Clix on Twitter. Let's focus here. At Barbie Clix, and also we have a Facebook page. You're welcome to message us, just like Malcolm has, if you do have any questions. But yeah, other than that, any last words from you, Anthony?
No, all of you out there, keep enjoying playing HeroClix, and love to hear about your games. If you are in Canberra and you'd like to play HeroClix, maybe hit up the Canberra HeroClix Facebook page.
Yep.
I did notice that somebody did hit it up the other day, but they were looking for HeroClix, which I will get back to you when I am not so scatterbrained.
and HeroClix Australia as well. So we try to keep that communication going in our small groups. So as we bring another episode to a close and turn off the Barbie, we'd like to say thank you for tuning into the show. Have a great week, and remember that even a poor plan is better than no plan at all. Thanks for listening. Bye.